hear people say all the time, they see my windows, they want to stop, they're so excited, but there's no parking. And so they zip on by and it takes them quite a long time to get in here. Whereas when people come down for the farmer's market, they're walking down, and so they stop by. That's when I get my best business.
We're a nonprofit art center. We provide a lot of services and support artists. So being able to be eye-catching and in a place that's already got foot traffic means a lot to the people that we're trying to support.
Walking and biking traffic helps a lot because we have a patio in the back, so a lot of people see that when they're riding on the bike path and they come up the back and they come in and get a drink. And there's a lot of people who park their bikes at the tree right out front and come in and get a coffee to go.
As a barbershop, we thrive on walk-in business. It's the easiest way to see what's around in your town. If you're driving, you might miss it.
Walkability and accessibility are what allows us to interact with our community on a very basic human level. It plays a very large role in how we can prevent diseases, how we can improve quality of life on a larger scale, but also on a very personal scale, how we can help people feel connected, really connected to their community and play a role in their happiness.
This alley is known as Paperboy Alley.
All right, I've lived in here all these years and thinking I know about downtown, had no idea. I think it's a really important route and the signage definitely doesn't point you in that direction.
I didn't know it was called Paperboy Alley, even though I was a paperboy back in the early 50s. So
is that where you picked up the papers?
That's where I picked up the papers, but we went through the shop up on street level, Jack's Toy Shop.
This is kind of like the iconic, you know, this is Batavia. It's stable enough that you know you're not falling in, but you got some of those boards sometimes that make it a little fun. We live 2 blocks away from downtown, so we try to walk everywhere that we can when the weather's good.
I am involved with Batavia because I work for the city of Batavia.
I'm a member of the Bike Commission, and I'm also on the Batavia Main Street Board.
I just passed my 77th birthday in all those years right here in Batavia.
I own a little business across the street called Kiss the Sky.
Street crossings are tough for walkers or bicyclists. Not only when you're crossing at a lighted signal, like up at McKee Street, but when we're crossing in downtown Batavia between McDonald's and Walgreens. Some people really don't understand the laws behind that and what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing.
I think the pedestrian walk is a little easier than the lights.
Make sure that they do stop is the key. I think that don't just go busting out into the street and hope that they're going to stop, because they don't always.
But even when we crossed at an intersection at 25 and Wilson this morning, and we clearly had the walk sign, someone pulled out and took a left onto Wilson.
I think you do have to exercise a lot of caution in any area downtown Batavia or anywhere around Batavia, because generally traffic can get really backed up, really busy, and at times it might be slower, but at the end of the day, it's still necessary to be cautious and vigilant about the traffic that's coming back and forth on these streets.
I think there's some irony to the fact that the path that we chose, which is the harder path to get to and to manage for some people in the community, is probably the prettier of the 2 paths. We see a lot of beauty in the structure and the sculpture as well as the plantings, and we see some here, but it's really more scenic the other route, even though maybe a bit more difficult.
I mean, there's a way to kind of use the ramp in the back here, but then you got to go way, way out of the way, and I don't know, that's very obvious.
The hill isn't quite so bad here.
Yeah.
I've done that just a couple times, but most of the time I have someone drive me.
We had one of our walkers from River Rain who didn't like going up the stairs because it was long for her and hard, and so we went around, but it would have been closer had she been able to go to the door with a handicap sign. So that would be a great opportunity for them to enter into and not have to go up the stairs.
This is the greatest corner in Batavia, right here.
There it is.
Yeah, to get run over.
Oh, look at this. A record store. I'll be.
Just like to say.
It's a destination.
There's only one within 15 miles that I know of.
I think when we come to this intersection, it gets a little bit tricky because in order to get to that beautiful corner,
That corner right there.
that beautiful corner right there, we have to make this cross, and then we have to kind of assume where we could meet up over there because there really isn't a designation of a sidewalk versus pavement over there.
No, you're right.
We were just noticing too how narrow. There's technically sidewalks over on this side, but I mean at some points it's literally the width of the curb. So it's like it's super, super narrow.
I think as a driver, this corner always bothers me because you can't see the cars coming down the hill.
Yeah.
So
Good
when
point.
you go through after you've stopped,
Yeah.
you're just kind of taking a chance.
Vehicles coming down that way, it would be important for them to slow down and possibly stop and reduce any accidents from happening because right now it's not too busy, but it can be busy and it can be dangerous.
We had two incidents here in the last month where somebody actually, a bicyclist, ran into a car. One of them flew on the hood of my girlfriend's truck. They were okay. I'd say overall, sidewalk connectivity throughout the downtown is pretty good, I think. We just walked all the way around, right? Didn't have much of a problem. The high point is the Peg Bond Center area, that Houston Street, the connectivity to the river, the rest of the downtown.
That would include the museum and all of that too.
Absolutely.
All the landscaping along it with the flowers, and then you've got the water fountain and the wise frog, as we said, that's sitting there. It's just really beautiful.
I like the width of it, the width of the path that accommodates both cyclists and runners and walkers.
The city has undergone a lot of major projects downtown. We have a couple of streetscape projects, and on the private side, we've also had some developments going, the new McDonald's and new Walgreens, all of which really have tried to incorporate pedestrian-friendly features. We've put brick crosswalks across all of our major roadways, the center pedestrian signage, so that again, it literally gets in the way of traffic so that you have to slow down and go around it. But we are trying our best to incorporate pedestrian features into our downtown. I think a vast majority of people are going to say they've positively impacted new businesses, just bringing people downtown. So there will always be those people that say, you know, the city spent a lot of money on these streets, and the city put a lot of dollars into these streets, more so than they probably should have. But again, you probably ask the majority of the people, and they'll say it's money well spent promoting the overall downtown.
I haven't been on a bike in 10 years, and this was great.
Being on a bike, you're moving at a much slower pace. You have an opportunity to stop, look around. You don't have to feel like you're in a rush.
Batavia became a bike-friendly community. I don't know if you guys are aware. In 2013, we applied to the League of Urban Cyclists, and we were awarded a bronze level. And we reapplied in last year in 2016, and we retained our bronze level, in part because we are the only town that has bike paths on both sides of the river. If you go to Geneva, they just have it on one side. St. Charles just has it on one side. We just have a lot of opportunities for cycling out here on paths if you don't want to ride on the streets. I'm sure you know the rules of the road, but one thing that came up earlier today, we were talking about hand signals, and it's still left. Then they're giving you the option for right is either this way or pointing to your right, and then stop. We're supposed to stop at stop signs. If you're riding on the street, you're treated the same as a car. We are gonna take these bridges over to the other side of the river and go up to the parking lot between the Park District building and the school administration building and meet the bus there and learn how to put your bike on a bike rack.
One thing about the PACE bus system is we're all hooked together and we can go pretty far. We have internet service now on our buses. A lot of people ride bikes and there's a lot of trails that hook up around in our servicing area. So they can go here to this point and get to this point very little dollars and safely. If you need assistance, all you gotta do is wait for the operator. Operator come out, explain to you how to do it, help you. We help out whatever way we can. So we take the knob, you take it, squeeze it, put the thing down. We ask that the first bike be on this rack first. Up.
That's super simple too.
Yeah, it's very simple, yeah. I like it.
Pull this up.
Pull it to the front, yep. Let it go.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
That's awesome.
This is called the McKee Street Crossing. We're at McKee and Route 31, or Batavia Avenue. Several years ago, the city got some money to put in these lit crossings. I think there are 5 of them in downtown Batavia, 3 on 30 Run and 2 on Route 25 across the river. This one in particular has been a little controversial. The city has been discussing whether or not these should have gone in, if this is the safest way to do it. Pushing the button doesn't automatically allow you to ride across. You need to push the button till it flashes and just wait until the cars stop. Within the city limits, the laws that currently stand says that you have to walk your bike on city sidewalks. And so once we cross, so we're gonna walk our bikes down that sidewalk to meet that regulation.
When we were on a bike path and the nice long roads, that was very comfortable. Even the residential streets was pretty comfortable. We still had to be vigilant, but not really comfortable driving on the actual busy streets.
I was real impressed when we saw the tool, the Bill McGrath tool.
We don't have a lot of signage on the bike path on the river, and so if you're not from this area, you're not really sure where the east side path goes or the west side path. You're not sure what might be available in Batavia. I think some permanent signage just directing people would be helpful.
I would like along bike paths a place where you can just go and pull on a little lever and take a shower and cool off.
Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning has been out here a couple times just to count the bicycle ridership, because this has now become a regional model of bicycle use and how you can integrate bicycles into a commercial business area with highway and everything else. The idea is to, make Batavia the bicycle riverbank showplace of the Fox Valley.
Early on in my career, all of my improvements were vehicle-oriented. Everything was vehicle-oriented. And now, almost every improvement has a large pedestrian focus to it. So we're really seeing a change, and I think the culture is people are becoming more accepting and realizing that to get people walking and biking in and around the community is a really important thing.
Batavia is a very welcoming community where you have a lot of people engaging in various activities. People are very friendly, and they just love the beautification of the area and love being outdoors.
I've had a business here for over 10 years, close to 15 years now, and I really don't get out and walk around the town that much. I'm committed to the notion of getting out and about and walking and getting on my bike and seeing more of the city than I have before. I think I appreciate our downtown now more than I did before.
Hopefully this will encourage not only improvements and rallying around the good things we've done, but also encourage people to get out and walk instead of drive down if they live close enough or ride their bike.
Before I get off the thing here, I'm going to say that I still think that showers along the bike path would be an awesome improvement.